Yo, what up, though, everybody? It's your boy Big Daddy Mo, and today I am here to talk about the Justice League, the Snyder. Actually, I'm about to compare both of them. This is my day off. I spent 6 hours watching the Josh Whedon version and the Zack Snyder version. Like 6 hours watching the same movie, bro. Like, I mean, really, it's not the same movie, but still. I could have been doing other things. I could have been watching, watching The Office for like the thousandth time. I could have been playing Xbox, PS4. But no, I watched Justice League, and by the way, I saw the Snyder Cut twice. Just because I watched it the day it came out, then I'm like, you know what? I still forgot what is what's different. So let me go back and watch them back to back. So I wish I just did that in the first place. But before I get into it, excuse me, before I get into this, I want everybody to know. I think the DCEU is trash. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder. Like he has a few films of his that are cool, but I'm not a fan of his. The DCEU is trash. And before y'all even think like, oh yeah, go to your, because I hear this all the time. Every time I talk to somebody about DC, that's a big fanboy. And for me, a fanboy is one of those people that they look at like what's a good one? X-Men Origins. Somebody legit tried to defend X-Men Origins Wolverine. Horrible movie. Horrible. Let me stop. Why am I doing? That looks so gay. No homo, bro. I can't. What am I doing? But it was a horrible movie, and he legit tried to explain it. Like, I mean, he tried to like defend it. So I'm like, you're a fanboy. You're sitting there thinking like they can do no wrong. So whenever I talk to DC fanboys, oh, go back to your Marvel where they crack jokes every 5 seconds. Hey, DC is supposed to be like, it's supposed to be dark. It's not supposed to be like all, happy, fun time and everything like with Marvel. But even when Marvel goes dark, it's better than DC. So I would love for, DC to, I would love for DC to have some amazing. That's what I love. That's what the concept about the DCU, that's what I loved about it, or it's supposed to be like. Marvel is lighthearted and everything. Yes, they have their dark moments. I mean, look at the whole like Infinity War and stuff like that. But like they have their moments where they're dark, and then you have DC that is just like dark. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I loved about it. But it's all over the place. It's so inconsistent because I mean, Zack Snyder, he has his vision. He wants it to go dark, and then you can't sit there and say, "Oh, Josh Whedon came in, bro." I mean, after like Batman v Superman, you had Suicide Squad, which was all over the place. It wants to be dark, but then also wants to be like funny and bright and everything. What else? You have Wonder Woman. That was a more lighter tone. Aquaman, lighter tone. Shazam, that the type of movie that Shazam was belongs in Marvel, even though it makes sense because you have kids who have this power to where they become adults. So it's DC, so it being a lighter tone movie makes sense. But you see what I'm saying? It's so inconsistent. DCEU do not know what they want to do because the second I knew it was going to be trash was when they did Batman v Superman. Why? Because Man of Steel came out. I enjoyed Man of Steel. I actually thought Man of Steel was good. It had its problems, but I thought it had a good villain. The action scenes were dope. By the way, I'm not gonna be sitting there like talking all about those movies because eventually I will go back and watch and review all of the DCEU movies that came out prior. But yeah. But when Batman v Superman came out, I'm like, damn, this is the second movie in y'all. You know what I'm saying? In y'all franchise, and it's already a team up movie. We have Batman, we have Superman, and we have Wonder Woman already. And then y'all jumping straight to Justice League. Yeah, they had Wonder Woman and whatever, but I'm like, bro, I understand that Marvel is your competition, but Marvel built that up. They built it from Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America. They gave us separate movies to build up that way. When the Avengers popped up, it was special. It was this big event. Dude, y'all just popped up in like 3 movies. But anyway, Justice League. Justice League had a bunch of the history, like behind the scenes, because remember, this was a Zack Snyder movie, and then he had to drop out because at first, they were saying he was fired, but really it was because his daughter took her life. R.I.P. That's a sad thing that happened. So You think that somebody that's kind of like, that's like building these movies up, you think they'd wait for him. No, they went to Joss Whedon, which I see why. It's like, well, look what he did with the Avengers. Like, the Avengers is this big thing, so maybe he can come over, finish up, Justice League, put put his little spin on, his little take on it, and maybe the movie can be as big as the Avengers. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's where they messed up, because when I saw this, and I actually did a review for it, which will be, in the description. I enjoyed Justice League because it was different. It wasn't boring or anything. It still had its problems, with Superman's CGI lip, the villain, and all that. I mean, man. Again, I'm gonna go into the comparisons in a minute, but like it had its problems, but I did enjoy it. Looking back at it now, but then again, no, I never watched it again. There's a lot of DC movies that I was like, okay, either it's trash or it's good, but I still never went back to it. Saw Wonder Woman once, Man of Steel once, Aquaman once. Even though I enjoy Aquaman a lot, I've seen all these movies once. But yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and then Josh Whedon gets and does it, and then he kind of like basically did what he did with the Marvel movies. Like you can't bring Marvel, do what you did with Marvel and apply it to DC, because DC is different. DC has a tone that they're trying to keep with. So for the fact that he used the Marvel tone with a DC movie, nope. Okay, so let's get into it. Justice League, this version, Josh Whedon's version, there was a lot of jokes. I mean, having Flash be the comic relief, it's cool. It worked in both versions. But in Josh Whedon's version, he wasn't the only person that was cracking jokes. You have Aquaman with his one-liners. I mean, Aquaman was Jason Momoa. I love him as Aquaman. He's more like Aqua Bro. He's awesome. So him cracking a one-liner here and there, I mean, like, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, they had him like, scenes where, there's a scene where he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you a spoiler review and spoilers. Anyway, there's a scene where he's sitting on the lasso of truth he doesn't know, and he's sitting there saying like, oh yeah, I don't want to die, I have a lot of cool stuff to do, what I'm saying, it's crazy, you don't have no powers, Batman. Oh, and Wonder Woman, you're really hot and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, that was funny, but not every character needs to be funny. I mean, even Batman has one liners. I was like, bro, come on. There was a scene where when Superman comes back and Batman is just like, I was like, ugh, that's not Batman. Like, what are y'all doing with Batman? So, the fact that Josh Whedon made the movie, like a Marvel movie, was more comical somewhat. Looking back at it now, no, that was the wrong decision to make. Keep one person with comic relief. You can't have everybody be funny. Like, it doesn't work. And honestly, it didn't work there. Steppenwolf. I thought he was trash in the first movie because the CGI for him, like, his design. I did not like his design. His design looked stupid. It looked weird. The CGI for it wasn't whatever, so I didn't care for him. But when we see him, he just pops up, takes the mother box, which, by the way, mother. Stop calling the mother box mother. Just call it the box. But you calling this thing mother, it just seems so weird. But we don't really get a motivation. We don't get why he wants this. I mean, he mentions himself, trying to get out of exile one time. That's when he gets the first box. But he mentions that one time. After that, it's just like, he mentions that, and he mentions the dark side one time. After that, he gets to a fight, grabs the box, goes back to what he's doing. We don't get no clear motivation on why he's doing what he's doing. So it's to the point where he's just like another throwaway villain. You don't care for him one bit. Whereas in the Snyder Cut, bruh, we get his whole backstory as in, like, he betrayed Darkseid, and that was a big mistake. So now and he's been exiled, you know what I'm saying? But now he wants to basically go back home. He wants to be, back on good terms with them. So now he's trying to get this mother box so Darkseid can, like, take over Earth and all that good stuff. So I kind of see it. He wants to go back home, you know what I'm saying? He messed up. So his motivation now, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, a part of me is kind of like, like, man, I kind of hope you go home, I hope you kind of win, so that way you everything is fine. But And oh my God, Steppenwolf was a beast when he was fighting the Amazons. Oh my God, bro. I mean, he popped up. He's sitting there throwing the horses all around. Like, bro, he was kicking ass, bro. Like, Steppenwolf was a beast in this movie when he was fighting them, and when he was fighting the what do you call Aquaman's people? The when he was fighting the fish people, like he was going in, bro. So I enjoyed Steppenwolf. Like he was great in this. Darkseid didn't really do much in this movie because I mean this was basically a setup for him in future movies. Doubt he'd probably be in any other DC movie because they don't know what they want to do. But this was basically him, like hey, basically Loki. Basically, Steppenwolf is Loki, and Darkseid is Thanos. This person is doing a job for the higher up. Basically, it's like, okay, you failed, so eventually I'm gonna have to come down here and take care of things myself. That's basically what Darkseid, role is in this movie. So I'm like, yeah, you get a glimpse of him, you hear him talking, but yeah, he's not a big baddie in this movie, which is cool because it sets it up. It would have set it up for a future movie. So I remember in my original Justice League review, I was saying like how this movie was shorter. The Josh Whedon version was shorter. They cut out maybe 20, 30 minutes. Boy, was I wrong, because this new one is 4 hours. Well, 3:53, 3 hours and 53 minutes. I just got done watching it like 5 minutes ago. Well, judging by how long this movie is, I just got done watching this movie like, let's say 20 minutes ago. But yeah, like because Zack Snyder didn't use any of the footage that Josh Whedon shot. All the footage is old footage and some new footage. But yeah, the time okay, 3 hours and 53 minutes. You could have cut some stuff out. You could have. You could have stopped doing all these slow motion scenes. Like, oh my God, there's a scene where there's in both scenes, but this scene is longer. You got Aquaman, he's walking out of a bar and he's going onto the pier. That entire scene is in slow motion. It's probably like a good minute of slow motion of him just drinking, the waves going everywhere. I'm like, bro, why do we need this scene? What is it doing? Like, there is no reason to have all these slow motion scenes. It is pointless. But anyway, the runtime, while it could be a lot cut out, I didn't find myself bored at all. Like, it is rare that you have a movie this long and you don't be bored. Maybe other people will be bored by a bit, but for me, I was perfectly fine. It fleshes out a lot of stuff, like the backstory to Victor Cyborg. When we first see Cyborg in the theatrical version, like the entire movie, he's just moping around and learning about his powers and now his body, because now he's like damn near like 90% machine, and he keeps upgrading, so he's like basically getting used to it. But we find out so much more about what he can do. Like, I mean, even like we found out like stuff before. Like, I mean, he's a football player, but he's always getting in trouble in school because he's helping people out. He's one of those people that like to help people out, and even with this newfound gift that he has, he's helping somebody out. So I enjoyed Cyborg Victor so much more in this movie. I liked him a lot. Josh Whedon version, I was like, bro, he's boring. He's boring. I was just like, bro, like, they did nothing for him in that movie. He was just there because it's like, okay, you need somebody that can do this with the mother box, that has this type of information. While yes, he's really, useful in the Zack Snyder's version, you know more about him, especially his relationship with his father, because that's a big part of his story. I mean, he is the way he is because of his father. So yes, a lot of stuff like that. Wonder Woman, she knows her information because she stumbled upon something. I'm sorry, when it came to Wonder Woman, I kind of zoned out because every time Wonder Woman pops up, she gets this little theme song, and not that theme song, the dun, 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 dun. It's like Amazon women just, oh, and I mean that. She could open up a computer, oh, take a bite of a bagel. Oh, if you don't believe me, there is now a trend on TikTok of how every time Wonder Woman does something, that theme comes on, and it is annoying. I've never thought a theme could make can just be so annoying. Every time she does something, it pops up. What made them think that that would be cool? It's not cool at all. It's just stupid. I should have got some water. I'm parched. But yeah, stuff like that. And then there's a lot of like different takes. Like I mean, when Batman meets up with Aquaman for the first time and he's saying like, hey, oh, I need to speak to somebody. I'm forming up a team. And like they cut out a lot of stuff. Like the part where he's like, oh yeah, I hear you talk to fish. Did I say it like that? Fish. I hear you talk to fish. Like they cut out a lot. It's like the same scene, but with like different takes. They cut out some dialogue. They probably add in a couple lines and all that. So a lot of the stuff is actually a lot of the scenes are the same but different because they are different. Like there are different takes. There are different lines of dialogue and whatnot, which is cool. But yeah, the runtime could have been cut. Ooh, I love the Flash's introduction. Like instead of the whole him in prison and he writes on the guy's face real fast. It's him and we see. I think her name is Iris. I think I pronounce it Iris West. We see her and that's his love interest. I think she's even in the TV show The Flash. I can't. Sidebar. Those DC shows, Arrow. I enjoyed Arrow. But I stopped at season 4, not because it was like boring, but because I haven't like watched Arrow in a minute. So when I don't watch a show, I kind of have to like start it over. But each season for all these shows are like 24 episodes. And then what makes it worse is that they cross over. So I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to watch Arrow, and now all of a sudden, Flash and the Legends of Tomorrow in this show. So now I'm like, I have to watch every season, all 24 episodes of each show. So then once the crossovers happen, I understand what's going on. That's why I don't watch the DC shows no more because it's just too much to catch up on. But yeah, Flash introduction is awesome with that whole her getting into a car accident and then he's sitting there, like catching her, and then like I love the slow motion. Okay, the slow motion for this scene works. I love that slow motion. I love the music that's playing. Like that whole introduction scene was great. I wish that was in the original version. Like, come on. Characters. Lois Lane. I never cared for Lois Lane. Like in Man of Steel, the only characters I cared for was Jor-El, Russell Crowe. Was it Russell Crowe? I think yeah. Superman's father, Superman's adopted father, Kevin Costner, and Michael Shannon as General Zod. Those were the 3 main characters I cared about in that Superman movie. So now in the extended, we get a lot of Lois Lane, and I'm like, Lois and Martha Kent, are just gonna be moping around about how Superman is dead and all that. I don't care one bit. Kick them out. That's the best part about Justice League was she was barely in it. She was only in it when we needed her. But yeah, that so yeah, characters wise, yeah. Then we even got like Martian Manhunter, like his scene. Damn, this is a 20-minute video. I did not mean for this video to be that long. Anyway, that scene was just because he disguises himself as Martha and talks to Lois. So then when he walks out, his eyes glow, and then all of a sudden he turns into Martian Manhunter, and then he turns back into the General or whatever from Man of Steel. And I'm like, okay, why not just go from Martha to the General? Because then then fans would be like, oh my God, that's Martian Manhunter. But then everybody else who doesn't know like history or the comics like that is like, wait a minute, who is this guy? And then when you bring him up at the end, that's when you see like he's legit, Martian Manhunter. So that right there, it was stupid. You could have just had him go from one to the other, not Martian Manhunter, and then Homeboy. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't want this video to go too long. It's already long. That's what she said. But yes, the Snyder Cut improves on a lot of things. I mean, like I said, Steppenwolf, his design is great. They said, oh yeah, we had to change it up in the Whedon version because it's too scary. What? Bro, really? That's scary? No, it looks awesome. His armor is just dope as hell. How is that scary? Like, if anything, the Whedon version is scary. That look, his face just looks weird. I could never rock with that. But yes, the action is, I mean, it's a little bloodier. The action is cooler. They give us more with the character. It's a 4-hour movie, but why I do say they can cut something out when it comes to getting these characters more, like giving these characters more on what to do, because even some of the stuff sets up the other movies. Like, I mean, the Aquaman, like they added in another scene with Willem Dafoe and that bitch Amber Heard, which by the way they should have just killed her in this one. She's a bitch. They add in an extra scene, and it kind of like it can lead into the Aquaman movie, because it's like, hey yo, take the throne, go to your brother, take your mom's trident. It's like, and Aquaman is still like, that has nothing to do with me. So yeah, that leads better into the Aquaman movie. Same thing with the now canceled Ben Affleck Batman movie, which was going to be him against Deathstroke. I mean, at the end, they changed it up with the whole, what's his name, the Lex Luthor, as in like, instead of like, oh yeah, we should make our own little Justice League. No, he's like, hey yo, guess what? You want to get Batman? I can make it easier for you. His name is Bruce Wayne. So that could have led into the Ben Affleck Batman movie, which is now gone. And now even at the end, they have another nightmare scene from Batman vs Superman, to where Superman is now bad. He's taken over. And this is where we get the Jared Leto Joker, which is totally redesigned. No grill, no tattoos, which is better. And basically, he's now part of the team. It basically Flash, Batman, Cyborg, that bitch Amber Heard. Who did I missing? Deathstroke, and then the Joker. That's a weird team. I would have loved to see how that went. They're gonna go against Superman. Like, that's what sucks about this Snyder Cut, is the fact that I wish we would have got this movie instead of that Whedon version, because then ain't no telling what could have been going on now. We could have got this whole different, like this nightmare movie, the Ben Affleck Batman movie. There's a lot that could happen, but now Zack Snyder's out, so that's done. That's why I say DC, the DCU is trash, because so much is going on. It's not like it's like they don't know what they're doing. It's like they're just spitballing. So I mean, but I enjoyed the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut is a dope movie. It is 100 times better than Whedon's version. Whedon's version is trash, because everything about that movie felt so rushed. It's like, when they meet up, rushed. When they get Superman, rushed. Cyborg, rushed. Everything about that movie is rushed, because so much was cut out. You know what I'm saying? And this is the movie this was supposed to be it. Which, by the way, I really hope he was not about to really give us a 4-hour movie and throw that in theaters. I mean, man, hopefully he could have found a way to like make it like 2.5, almost 3 hours, and then make your extended cut for Blu-ray and all that. But 4 hours in theaters, yeah, that movie probably would have still flopped, because there's so many factors going into that. The runtime, the show times. You probably could have only showed it in theaters like maybe 3 or 4 times a day because of how long the movie is. But this is definitely one of the best movies in the DCEU, like for real. Like, Zack Snyder, yeah, for me, about time because you did Man of Steel, which was cool, but I mean, this movie was dope. Like I said, it was way better than Batman versus Superman. So yes, I definitely approve this movie. This movie is dope. If you haven't seen either Justice League movie and you plan on it, don't watch the Whedon version, watch the Snyder Cut, unless you want to sit there and compare the two. But the Snyder Cut is where it's at. It just sucks that this movie is non-canon, so it's kind of like pointless. But yes, damn. This video ran long, like just like the movie. But hey, Justice League Snyder Cut. If you've seen it, comment down below. Let me know what you think about it. While you're down there, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Check out my other videos. And as always, I will see y'all next time. Peace.